Cosmetic family.
Hey, welcome to the Cosmetic Podcast here at World Council.
World Council. Cosmetic means being a person or thing that gives rise to a phenomenon that is dynamic or energizing.
We're tackling topics and telling the truth.
I'm Rodrigo Ross.
And I'm Keith Vinson.
So today, our podcast is called Be Green.
Be Green.
Oh, look at you.
And look at you.
We didn't plan this for real,
No,
y'all.
for real.
This
No,
just totally
it literally
happened.
just happened.
It literally, I just saw that. Like, Be Green. I was going to say Kermit, then you had on green. I moved away from the Kermit thing, but...
You were going to call me Kermit?
Well, you are kind of froggy today. Your voice is kind of froggy today. That's not on me. So, but anyway, we have Be Green talking about a sustainable planet with two amazing experts. We have Amy Wolf from the YMCA of the Rockies in the United States. Hi, Amy. And I'm gonna try this, y'all. Anjesa Haziraj.
You're right.
Oh, wow.
So international. I want you to say your own name because she says it way better than me. But she is from YMCA of Kosovo, and she's a youth leader there, and they have this amazing tree planting project. Welcome both to the Cosmetic Podcast.
Thank you.
Yes.
So look, let's help me out here before we get started, because we hear so much about this sustainable planet thing. And I think it's just like a foreign language to many people. Mm-hmm. Those who love it, like, they're deep into it. All right, so take me from up here to bring me to down here to that average Joe, like, really, what is this all about?
Right. And what can I really do to create or help support a sustainable planet?
Well, I think that it's easy for everybody to create a sustainable planet. But sometimes when you think, you'll say, oh, it's hard. Mm-hmm. But no, it's not really. Because if we talk about our project, as we did, as you said, about the tree nursery, we are going to plant some trees in the tree nursery, and we are going to take care of them. And then we are going to donate to people, maybe to individual, but maybe to schools or whoever wants to have them, and they will take care of them. So if you think it's not that hard to do that, like, you just take one tree as a person and you just take care of that in your home, in your house, like wherever, and then you just do something with that. Like, example, we in Kosovo use a lot of plastic bags, and now we are planning to have a law, like, to ban them.
Oh, wow.
Which is very good. I think in most of the countries now it's already banned. Mm-hmm. And we are like a step back from that, and so we are trying to do that. Like, why not? Because really, we are looking like to make it so it's something so small to make it sustainable.
That is amazing. That I just had a light bulb moment. She was like, just one person, just take care of one tree, right? Like, you don't have to go and plant the whole forest, and you don't have to go. Just take, which would be a thing for me, because all my plants are plastic, because I cannot with plants, y'all. But I'm gonna try with this. Maybe it was because I try to get too many of them.
And what's cool
exotic.
though, if you use it from a life experience, I remember literally when we moved into our first house when I was young, and we had a tree, a little sampling about that big, and now that tree, it is easy 50 feet tall. Easy.
Because you're that old. It took that, you had that many years for that tree. It was too easy. It was too easy.
So yes,
got it.
So yes, with
got it. But that is an amazing way, to take it from up here to just take one tree and take care of it.
Thank you, because that just made it that simple.
That was excellent. I love that. I love it.
I think another thing that you have to think about when you're talking about environmental sustainability is really meeting people where they're at.
Yes.
And I know we've heard that a lot here. And, we think about our day-to-day lives, and some of us don't always have the luxury of thinking bigger and broader because we have our jobs and our careers. Some of us have kids and families we have to take care of, and it's cheaper to buy food that's not organic. You don't have the time to do the research on what you're looking at. So when we're talking about sustainability, I think one of the biggest things is to show people how making smarter and healthier choices can affect their day-to-day, not just that broad. So when we're looking at something like, oh, you could save money if you switch to solar.
You got 'em.
Or if we do something a little bit differently, you can drink out of your tap because it would be cleaner water and it would be healthier for you. So those types of things, I think meeting people where they're at right now with their knowledge and with their day-to-day capabilities, I think that's probably one of the most important things to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, just helping them see the small changes they can make, like start with this, and this is what this one word means. Because I'm always confused when they're talking about buy organic and this, that, and the other thing. You hear so much information and it's just too much sometimes. And it's like, okay, when you're talking about something, learn what this one phrase, this one term means, change something around that, let it become a habit, then pick something else, right? Just really going back and meaning, because there are some people who are amazing at the sustainability thing, and they're intimidating, right? Like they got all the cute little water bottles and all of their clothes are, and I'm like, dang, I suck as a human being. Like, what? Hey, you agreed way too fast.
No, I was just saying,
right. That's what you were saying. Whatever. So talking about the project with the trees in Kosovo. Did the youth come up with that idea, or like how did you guys come up with this idea?
Yeah, in fact, it was together staff and the youth having a project, and so our staff for 12 weeks they had a program with the youth, so they would learn more about environment protection. So not just go and take an action and this is bye-bye. So it was like they would know more what is the air pollution, they would know more about deforestation, they would know more about most of the things that we are having problems at our community like every day. So after they finish that, they would get a certificate, and what we are aiming to do is like to launch a program with green heroes. So we will call them a green hero, but we didn't start it yet, but we are planning to do it soon. So they would be like in the whole city, the protecting their own community and own city and they would call themselves, oh, I'm the green hero.
Yeah, like, what kid doesn't want to be a hero, right? That's to be a hero.
Yes. So if they were a green hero, it would be something like,
no, I knew they was going to do
and then the cap.
Green hero. I'm going to hear this again. I know I'm going to hear this again. I'm going to hear it again.
I'm coming here to save you.
Exactly.
Right? I'm going to hear this again. Like, he may just send you a picture. He is the green hero. Oh, good gracious. But that is amazing. Like, what kid does not want to be a hero?
So this is a mix of raising awareness and going in action. Like then they had also an activity to clean all the city, and the municipality, sorry for my English, gave an award to our project because they cleaned the whole city. So this is kind of a motivation for them. And and one of the guys, of the young person, keeps saying like, oh, I always keep saying to my colleagues, don't throw trash everywhere. Do that. Yeah, you should plant a tree. Like, this is what we are aiming for. Like,
that's nice.
Great,
and that just becomes, that generation just grows up and it's the norm and it's their behaviors. I love it. I love it.
What are the toolkits that you guys have developed?
Yeah, so YMCA of the Rockies has partnered with the YMCA in Russia, and we've also brought in some other European YMCAs from France and Sweden and Scotland, and we have been working over the past few months to create it's a waste audit and activity handbook.
Oh!
Yeah, and so one of the big things that we talked about as a group is how important education is to us. And we wanted to be able to create a tool that could be used across all of our YMCAs, regardless of what our budget restrictions are and regardless of what our format is, because as we've learned here at World Council, YMCAs look different in different countries. And so we created a step-by-step guide on how to audit the waste your YMCA is producing with the goal of reducing the amount of waste that we're sending to landfills. So it gives education on the different types of municipal solid waste, and then you can kind of create an audit in a way that works for you, whether it's looking at your organization as a whole, looking at the buildings on your property, and learning what can be recycled, what could be composted. And so we actually did a test run on one building in our YMCA at YMCA of the Rockies, and we found that almost 70% of the waste that we were sending to the landfill could have either been recycled or composted.
Wow, that's amazing. So will those toolkits be made available to other YMCAs in the United States, or is it just to use with our friends around the world?
Yeah, so that's our goal, is to be able to make this available to anybody who wants to use it. And obviously everyone's waste looks a little bit different, like where you can recycle, what you can recycle, whether you're able to compost. So our hope is that this is kind of going to be the structure for YMCAs to learn about it. I mean, it's hard to ignore waste when your elbow is deep in it, right? So teaching and educating and showing that there are better ways maybe that we could do things, that's really the end goal. It's less about the statistics and more about getting people involved and feeling like they can make a difference and they can make a change, and empowering all of the YMCA. So yes, our goal is to make this available. We're working on translating it into a couple different languages as well, because as of right now, the first draft is in English. And so hopefully we'll have some different languages to be able to offer that to YMCAs.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm just thinking, you know, especially when you're talking about education, just helping people understand what they can compost. I'm just thinking one of our Ys, right? We have a YMCA that has a kitchen, and all day long, all they do is prepare meals for under-resourced kids, right? Kids who don't have meals and stuff. But when they finish preparing those meals, they just throw everything in the trash and they take the trash out and they clean up. But if they understood more about composting, right? Like imagine how they could just change the footprint of that YMCA and what they do with their trash.
So I mean, we have program directors that are listening to this, that are hear this from now and forever, I guess. Where can they get started? I mean, that program director, like, hey, I really do care about this. This sounds interesting, but like, what do I start at with programming and getting young people involved?
Well, I think that this doesn't need money, doesn't need so many resources to start. This is something very, very easy. Like for us, even if we don't start with anything else, we can start with our program with raising awareness to them, and then if you go out and clean your city, you doesn't need anything. You need only young people and only people with a goodwill to do that. So you can start easily by having, like we started by having a program for 12 weeks in a row, and then there came up an idea for what we can do more. So then after that we started to maybe just clean. It's not maybe just cleaning the city or maybe building the team trees, but we also now are on the green part. As we are talking, we also, as a YMCA in Kosovo, we have also 3 charity shops, which we use like the 3 R's, recycle, repair, and reuse. Yes, which is a great example.
Right.
Like we all have clothes that we don't, maybe we have for a long time in the shelves, and also some of them they are gonna just throw them somewhere. But you can do that. You can put them in a container, and then we get them, we repair them, and then we send them to reuse and to sell for helping the to continue with the programs with the young people to help the YMCAs. So this is a great thing.
So each season when you do your cleaning,
I do,
and you still have tags on your clothes that you never worn.
You don't have to tell all my stuff though.
So you send them here. Now.
I could send bins of clothes.
And bins.
Or when I bought something
bins.
because I'm like, oh, by the time the season comes, I'm gonna be that size, and the season came, and I ain't got that many bins. But I buy clothes and I'm like, I'm gonna be that size next summer.
Shoes,
and then next summer,
shoes also.
Shoes, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever, you don't use it.
Well,
wait a minute, you're giving away my stuff real easy right now.
Well, you got enough about 7 people.
Well,
I mean,
that's another podcast.
Okay.
Whatever.
We ain't gonna do no podcast on your clothing style for
It would
sure.
be excellent. I would love it.
Man. So you're in the beautiful Rockies. Can't wait to get there one day. I haven't been there. I need to get out. I need to get out.
Yes.
Beautiful area. How are you? What are your recommendations to get programming started?
Right, so actually, I'm excited that you asked this because this is the second half of our handbook. We, in the second half of our handbook, have compiled some ideas for different types of activities and games and programs that you can use at your Y for the purpose of educating youth around environmental sustainability. So, for example, one of the activities that we also have done at our YMCA, at YMCA of the Rockies, is a trash cleanup hike. And something like that doesn't cost a lot of money, and lots of people are involved. And you don't have to be in the beautiful Rocky Mountains to go on a trash cleanup hike. You can go
that's true.
urban hiking,
Sure can.
walk through your own city, and you can pick up trash and gather a group of people. And for something like that, all you need are some trash bags, and please wear rubber gloves.
And some gloves. Please put on some rubber gloves.
You know, put on some gloves. But something like that isn't expensive to do. All you need is the will to do it.
Yeah.
And you need some folks who are excited about the idea of environmental sustainability. And so implementing programs and just doing small things like that, even just to educate, even if you don't feel like you're moving the needle, you never know who you're educating that might take that and share that information. And so sometimes those small things all put together can be those big changes that we need to see.
I like that.
Yeah, and so in
that.
Dallas, one of the neat things is our codes department will provide, if you want to do a neighborhood cleanup or nature trail cleanup, they'll provide you with the equipment. So
the little grasper, the little
grasper.
You know, kids love those little things, those little pinchy things.
And they'll provide you with gloves
that's
also,
easy.
And the bag. So I mean, and that could be 3 people who want to do a project, or that can be 20 people who want to do a project.
But
like you're saying, just those little things, like that's no cost. All it is your time at whatever day of the week to be able to go out there and do some cleaning.
I love that. That's nice. So I noticed that when we first went into the pandemic and the world just stopped, right? And we weren't doing all this driving and we weren't going out. It really, to me, it felt like the planet was regenerating. Like things were growing and it looked more lush and more green. And it even seemed like my allergies weren't as bad during that time. It's just like when we just stopped messing up stuff for a little while. The planet just had a minute to re-energize. But now that we're kind of getting back into the groove of things, do you guys see that because people experienced that before and they see that, oh, it can happen, it should happen, that they're more willing to participate and become aware of sustainability issues now?
I would say so. I mean, the project that we're doing here is one of several projects that we've been doing at YMCA the Rockies, and unlike some of the Ys here, our YMCA of the Rockies staff are paid staff, and at this point we haven't had a paid position for environmental sustainability, but we have had so many of our employees join this team and volunteer their time outside of their normal work hours to participate, and we've been able to accomplish big things because we are so passionate about it. And I know we started this project after COVID, so I can't say whether the engagement would have been the same prior, but I do believe that we all got a chance to see that and experience that. And so the volunteer effort to take climate action, I think is growing, and so I think now is the perfect time to really push it forward.
What about you?
Like example in Kosovo, it's not like we have this culture that we keep our houses very clean, like really clean, but then outside it's not the same. So it's not that how it should be, but it's like the opposite. So I mean you can keep your house clean for sure, but you should keep your environment first. We don't expect like everyone to be like willing to do green area thing, but we expect at least to do the minimum that they should do in this world. So yes, like we would, how to say, sorry. We would accept like everyone, like from young people, as we started to clean the city, like you see young people doing that. So and after the pandemic, I saw a really big how to say starting to raise their awareness, individual people, to do things differently. Well, in fact, I would say that I'm happy. I would start also from myself. I wasn't that big green, but when I saw the changing through the pandemic, I was like, oh my God, really, we need to work towards it. We really need to do something, because really we didn't really know until we saw through the pandemic situation. We didn't really know where we are. We are just living. Like,
Yeah, that's so true. I know. I definitely think about things different, and when I'm way more adamant about recycling in my own house, and just really trying to understand how we're hurting the planet by just doing our everyday conveniences, that really it wouldn't be that inconvenient if we switched it up. It's just a matter of being mindful, right, about it and doing something different.
I would say for me, it was, so every Wednesday is recycle day, so I take the bin out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until we had moved to Dallas that became a thing. We had awareness of it in our home before, but it wasn't the convenience there. And so therefore we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Now that we have the convenience of it, highly more mindful.
Yes.
Like, you know, all the plastic bags or all the paper, whatever, you know, those things are going into the recycle bin now. Whereas, you know, but it's that one thing that you're saying. You like start somewhere.
That one thing that you can do.
Everybody can do that.
Yeah. I'm definitely noticing, whereas before we would have more trash bags in the trash can and not so much recycling. Now we have way more in the recycle bin. It gets full, and the trash can is not so much, just because. And my kids aren't even that little, like, and they're super tall, and I still have like, put that in recycling.
Now imagine if you took out the food waste, how much less trash we have.
Because we haven't even gotten that far.
Right.
I'm gonna do that when we get back.
But I bet you them Amazon boxes, I bet you.
Well, you always
See,
telling stuff you
that's
don't
what
have
she's
no business
recycling
talking
every
about.
Wednesday. Them big old Amazon
I
boxes
recycle
that come in.
And I just get them to send it all on Tuesdays in one box, and I recycle the box. You sound
Kind of
judgy.
recycle, yeah.
I recycle the box. He sounds judgy. Whatever.
Reduce, reuse.
Thank you.
That's great.
Reuse,
That's
reduce,
great.
reuse.
You're doing great.
You hear that? Reuse, reduce, reuse.
You can't make me laugh.
I can definitely make you laugh. I'm going for it. So if you both had to kind of leave a message or a call to action, so to speak, for folks to really get engaged, to really not be passive, to really educate themselves around a sustainable planet, what would you tell them?
Well, there are so many things that I would tell, but in fact, I would say that you will always find a way to protect your area, your space that you're living at. So you can do the minimum, but you can do more than minimum.
Yeah.
So I would say that even if you think that you cannot do, you have places like YMCA example, places like, I think that there are a lot of places you can go and work towards the green area. So I would say that never say I cannot do something, but you just need to start.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like we started with the young people, so they got so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because really, we don't know a lot of information, so when we get information, we can do much more than we are thinking that we're doing.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
can do it, and don't do the minimum.
Change.
Don't shoot for the minimum. Do more than the minimum. What about you, Amy?
My advice would be the squeaky wheel. Be the squeaky wheel, because you can tell somebody something, but unless it becomes a daily part of their routine, it's not going to change. And often it's hard to change our daily routines. I like to think of it as when I'm in my car and I don't buckle my seatbelt, I hear ding, 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 and it drives me nuts. And so you know what? I buckle my seatbelt.
You put on your
Even
seatbelt.
if I
You're
forgot
right.
that day, I put my seatbelt on. And so I think that people may not realize how important climate action is to them. So we have to be the squeaky wheel. We have to remind them why it's important, and eventually it will become commonplace.
Yeah.
So squeaky wheel or ding? I say you need to be the ding. Ding, ding, ding.
So look, buy Rod some shoes. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding.
And as annoying as that ding is as annoying as what this is right here in my ear.
You should buy me some shoes and the ding goes away.
Man, you
There's
guys have
that.
been incredible. Thank you guys for
Thank you
sharing
so much for all
with
you're
us,
doing.
guys.
Yeah.
And look, thank you for listening to Cosmetic.
On this episode called Be Green.
And subscribe and listen to us weekly.
And don't be shy, give us a 5-star review.
And as always,
Be dynamic.
be phenomenal.
Be cosmetic. Yeah!